Welcome by Motorsport Explained by Parc Femme. Today we're going to talk about the FIA Super License. Now, similar to the way that you need a driver license in order to drive your car on the public roads, you also need a license to drive a Formula 1 car. This is called the Super License. Easily said, there are 6 requirements to get a super license. The first one is you need to be a minimum age of 18 at the start of the first F1 competition. You need to be an existing holder of an international Grade A competition license. You need to be a holder of a valid driver license. When applying for the first time, you also need to pass the FIA theory test on knowledge of the F1 sporting codes and the regulations. You also need to have completed at least 80% of each of 2 full seasons of any of the single-seater championships. You also need to accumulate at least 40 points over the previous 3 seasons in any combinations of the championships where you can score super license points. Now let's say a driver has previously held a super license before. They do not need to meet all those requirements. Drivers who have previously had a super license and are returning to the sport, think about Robert Kubica, can be considered for a super license again. They need to complete at least 100 kilometers during a free practice session at a Grand Prix in any of the 3 years prior to the application. There are also drivers who have a super license but just hasn't been used for the last 3 years. The FIA examines these applications on a case-by-case basis to determine whether the driver has recently and consistently demonstrated outstanding ability in a single-seater Formula car. For instance, Romain Grosjean. He would be very likely to get a super license approved for, let's say, 2023. On the other hand, Nico Rosberg would not automatically be approved. He'd have to go through the process of completing 3 practice sessions and prove that he is still capable. Now, how do you get these super license points? In the chart below you can see what series hand out what kind of points. For a series to award super license points, a championship season must consist of at least 5 events spanning at least 3 different circuits. A series must have at least 12 drivers compete at any event and a minimum of 16 drivers compete across a season to meet all the criteria for full points. A series with 12 or more drivers per event and between 12 and 15 over the course of a season will be awarded 75% of the points, and a series with an entry list of 12 competitors or lower will not be eligible for points. A driver can earn points from either 1 or 2 series in 1 calendar year. Now there are also other ways to earn points. For example, you get 1 point for driving at least 100 kilometers during a free practice session for up to 10 points. You get 2 points for competing in an FIA championship with a penalty point system without receiving any penalty points. You also get 5 points for winning the Macau Grand Prix. Now series like the World Endurance Championship or IMSA or any other series where there's multiple people in the same car, the points will get divided. For platinum and gold ranked drivers you will get 100% of the points. For silver ranked drivers you will only get 75%, where for bronze drivers you will get 50% of the points. Drivers without categorization will be awarded no points. Now there's also a free practice only super license. In 2019 the FIA introduced a standalone free practice only super license, for example academy drivers or young drivers who want to have the experience in F1. The first 4 rules of the super license apply to the free practice only super license as well. Where it gets different for this license is when you apply for it. When you apply for the first time, you need to have done at least 6 races in Formula 2 or have 25 super license points in the previous 3 years. All the subsequent applications need to have done at least a full season in Formula 2 or also the 25 super license points in the previous 3 years. Can you lose your super license? The easy answer is yes, you can. When you get either your super license or your free practice only license for the first time, you get a 12-month probation period. At any time during these first 12 months, the FIA may review and withdraw any of the licenses. Now, if you're past those 12 months, you can still lose your license. The FIA have a series of sanctions which can be placed on a driver's super license, which are in the form of reprimands and penalty points. If a driver gets 12 or more penalty points in a 12-month period, they will receive a 1-race ban for the next event they're scheduled to participate in. Everyone with a super license needs to renew it. Super licenses are issued on an annual calendar year basis and must be renewed at the end of each year. This also goes for the free practice super license. Do you need to pay for a super license? The FIA charged the license holders an annual fee, plus a cost for every point they score in the championship. Now the exact price has never really come out. Now numerous drivers have come out and said that this is unfair. You shouldn't be paying money for doing good in the sport. Jenson Button objected and expressed his position that all current F1 drivers should pay the same flat fee for the super license. However, this still hasn't changed, and you still need to pay extra money for every point you score in the championship. What nationality is on your super license? The nationality that appears on the super license is identical to a driver's passport. A Frenchman living in Germany would receive a license issued by the German Motorsport authorities, but the nationality displayed on the license would still be French. In order to race with a license that displayed German, the driver would need to have a German passport as well. A driver with multiple citizenship choose their official nationality. Lately, there's been loads of talks about the super license involving Colton Herta, but now also Logan Sargent. The super license has been in the sport for a long time, and it has its good and its bad sides. I'm very curious to know what you think about it. If you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments and let me know if there's anything else in the motorsport world that you need explained.